Clarksville. I host a radio show here in Clarksville. Yeah, that's right, the New York kid. I love it. You know, I joined the service. They sent me to Fort Campbell and Clarksville. You guys are kidding me here, and I appreciate it. The bless your heart stuff. I know what it means. You can stop. You know what I mean? That's right. Bless his heart. Okay, same to you. Right. But yeah, I'm telling you, what you guys got down here, you got something special down here in the Queen City. I mean, you got such a collection, a diversity. I respect it. I love it. And it's what's making the city grow, and I really respect it. And I appreciate you guys for doing that to this, and accepting this damn Yankee, right? Damn Yankee is the one that moves here, right? Yeah, I'm a damn Yankee. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll work on it. But yes, we got Rachel Goldman who's going to be up here tonight. She's got such great stage experience. I'm looking forward to Rachel. Whole lineup. Janice, you did good. But yes, let us introduce our first comic. Let's get started here. You guys ready to get started? Let's get a chant going here. Yes, get those hands clapping in unison. Here we go. Yes, no doubt about it. He's from Clarksville. That's right. He's making his comedy stage debut. He lost a bet. So he's going to be making his debut here tonight. And not for nothing, he's a video gamer since day one, okay? His favorite TV show is The Big Bang Theory. Yeah, that's right. That's my chair, right? That's that's my chair. And yes, his celebrity spouse would be Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson. Please give a warm welcome for our first comic of the evening, Rob Puckett. Yeah! Come on up, Rob. Rob Puckett, everybody.
Joe Padula, everybody. Bless his heart. Joe said, my name is Rob Puckett. I don't go by that very often anymore. I had about 23 years of good use out of the name Rob. And then in about 1986, I got married. My name changed from Rob Puckett to Beverly's husband. That lasted about 10. Then in 96, our first child was born. In 99, our second child was born. Then my name changed to Chris and Ryan's dad. And that's pretty much what it is right now. I'm pretty much dad at this point. But the nice thing about that last name change is with the last name change, there was some kind of a latent gene somewhere in a man's body that when he becomes a dad, things you can do that you don't know you can do. For example, you hear two boys giggling down the hall, and you're instantly thinking, this isn't good. And then the next thing you hear is, Dad, do we have a plunger?
Now just a hair.
How many of you ever saw your dad do that when you were little?
My dad had hair.
Yeah, if your dad had hair. We went to I guess when my son was in 3rd grade, we went to a parent-teacher conference. We're looking around the room. I'm letting my wife talk to the teacher because she's the adult. And I'm looking at the different things they've got in the room. And they've got these little pictures up there of a king sitting on a throne. And they're learning about adjectives, and what they're supposed to do is write a little story with adjectives about the king on the throne. And some of them are really good. These kids have really grasped the whole concept of adjectives. And then I see this one that says, the fat king had smelly gas. And then I look in the upper left-hand corner and I see the name in it.
Rob.
But the nice thing about that is it's multi-purpose. You can use it for anything. Once it's unlocked, you can keep on using it. We had some friends. She was a babysitter for us when the boys were real little. They got married, and they came to the house to visit. And they're sitting at our kitchen table, and they're just having a conversation. And out of nowhere, don't know where it came from, I heard the man say, well, you know, if we ever got a divorce, it'd be your fault. Really? You really wanted to do that? So when things like that come around, you just take them and you can do multi-purpose things with them. Another nice thing that happens is when your kids get older and they begin to get into activities, when you're with multiple kids, you can do the same thing. I had a kid come up with me. I'd do some work with the Clarksville High School band. We were 2 hours away in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and I had a kid come up to me and go, "Mr. Rob, I forgot my uniform in Clarksville." Guess who drove back to Clarksville to get the uniform? But anyway, it's been great. You guys have been fantastic tonight. Enjoy Big John. He's awesome. I want to thank him for giving me this little bit of time out of his show for this. And I'm going to hand it back over to Joe. And guys, just one thing. Think about this. Every person that you see in life has a story to tell. All you got to do to hear about it is ask and listen. All right, y'all have a good night. Enjoy the show. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Puckett. Fantastic. Good times, Rob, good times. You know, I was just going over the calendar of events. So much negative news. I mean, look at 2015 as a whole. I mean, we got planes that are still missing from Malaysia. By the way, if you go to Malaysia, do not fly. Just don't do it, all right? Also, I mean, Iran nuclear deals. I mean, well, what happened recently, such bad attacks. But man, so much negative news, but hey. At least Charlie Sheen is positive, right? Oh, is it too soon? Is it too soon? It's too late. It's too late. That's right. Oh man, but I'll tell you, you know, we do live in a crazy world, but at least you know, we got a great state that we live in, Tennessee. Everyone here from Tennessee, is that accurate, right? Yeah. Anyone not from Tennessee? Oh, where are you from, sir?
Wow. Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore, Maryland. I love Maryland. Great city. I saw you guys on CNN for like 3 weeks. You guys are fantastic. It's great.
Steve Pratt.
Oh, Steve Pratt. Let me tell you, see a doctor, all right? Yeah, absolutely. Where else? Where else do we got people from tonight? Out of town. Where at, ma'am?
Ohio.
Ohio. Oh, yeah. You guys just voted down me. Did you guys know that? Yeah. Oh, it's just like, yeah. Where else we got tonight? Oklahoma. Oh, I love Oklahoma. I actually did basic training in Oklahoma. Yeah, I mean, let me tell you, I was a part of the 101st Airborne Division, Air Assault, and I loved it. Let me tell you, Fort Campbell. Veterans and soldiers, I had Florida, everyone. What that about it? I mean, Veterans Month, we just had Veterans Day. But Oklahoma, home of Fort Sill, and you guys have shit in Oklahoma. You guys have nothing in that state, okay? But I'll tell you what, though, I mean, like, we have you now, so thank you, Oklahoma. That's about it. Excuse me? Okay, Oklahoma, home of the ego. I like that. It's very good. Very good. Got that about it. Forget about it. But are you guys ready for another stand-up comedian to come up here and not only grace us with her presence, but man, she's got experience. Look at this bullet studs that I got here. Okay, she's from Evansville, Indiana. Which, by the way, Evansville, Indiana, I think that's the capital, the meth capital of the world. I really do. Indiana's #1 in meth-producing states. #3 is Missouri. Anyone know what number 2 is? Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee. All right, we're getting there. It's a terrible thing. Don't do it. Don't do it. Thank God Oak Grove is in Kentucky. We're okay. You know? No offense. I know they're from Oak Grove. I know. I apologize. But yeah, Evansville, Kentucky. I mean, she's a regular at the Laughing Derby in Louisville, Kentucky. She's done so many great things on and off the stage. She's a good person. And not for nothing, please give a warm welcome to our next comedian. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Rachel Goldman. Yeah.
How you doing tonight, Clarksville? Hey, keep it going for Rob and Joe and Janice for putting the show on. Thank you all so much for coming out. Y'all, we got a late start tonight, and that's my bad. I apologize. All right, because what happened was we got halfway here, and all of a sudden I realized there was a giant hole in the crotch of my pants. And had I known there was a hole in the crotch of my pants, I probably would have worn underwear. Is anybody else here tonight joining me for a drink? Make some noise if you're joining me for a drink. That's good, because the drinks here are made with more love than I was. Yeah, getting drunk out on the town in Clarksville, I feel like that's getting ready to be my favorite misdemeanor. You guys, I'm excited for the change in seasons. I really am. Not in like a pumpkin spice way, you know, but in like a more traditional, just like I've quit shaving kind of way. Forget no shave November, right? I got this started in September. In a couple of weeks, I'll be able to take off my pants and none of y'all will notice.
Love you.
Thank you. Thank you, honey. My leg hair is halfway to a decent Locks of Love donation. Y'all love having fun at my day job. I really do. Comedy's fun. But my day job's real cool, too. Like, I got in at work the other day and I grabbed a cup of coffee. I took it to my boss. And as I leaned over his desk to hand it to him, I let a little something, you know, just sort of flop out. And then my boss said, ugh. You know, like when someone brings a guitar to a party. Normally they're very well received. Like, I really like to think that's just because my boss is my dad. I mean, seriously, would it kill him to be a little more enthusiastic? You know, a little more supportive of his little girl? Every once in a while, a look in the eye, a pat on the back, and nice tips, kiddo. That's a family business, you guys. A family business, and that's really special. Or like it would be if I didn't keep getting fired. Got fired once for having a smart mouth. Got hired back so Thanksgiving wouldn't be weird. Got fired once for sexual harassment. Got hired again because Grandma said Dad was asking for it.
Welcome to the family.
Oh, you've met Mom. Yeah, and it's interesting actually working side by side with my dad. Like, if anything, it really has introduced me to what, if I may, are some pretty sexist double standards in the workplace. Because, you know, part of my job involves working retail. Sometimes I wear something real low cut, bat my ashes to seal the deal. And the level of disgust and aggression I see when my dad tries to do the same thing is embarrassing. Yeah, I also work with my younger sister. She has to work pretty hard. I mean, she really does struggle. And I think it's because she's the ugly one. Oh, yeah, no, I gotta be nice. Big John is a big fan of my little sister. So, we'll see if he gives me a good report when I get home. But no, I mean, I at the day job am what you would call irresponsible. And my immediate supervisor is actually my younger sister, and she's what you would call a bitch. The other day, I was leaving work for the night. She called out after me, "You're gonna die alone!" Well, good, that means she won't be there. Oh, you guys, a little bit more about me. I am Jewish. Oh, thank you. Back home, they throw stones. And I am Jewish, but don't worry. Like, the most Jewish thing I've ever done is run a Google search of what foreskin tastes like. Because I try to keep kosher. Yeah, you guys, I'm Jewish, and I'm pretty sure me being Jewish is why I'm so eager to believe in evolution. Well, see, I'll tell you what, I have small hands. And I'm pretty sure it's because after generation upon generation of Jews in my family marrying other Jews, we've developed the small hands to make the dicks look bigger. Every once in a while, you know, an old timer will come into my place of work and they'll say, "You're not gonna Jew me down, are ya?" Well, no. Is this you trying to racist me up? You guys, I'm not just Jewish, I'm a pawnbroker. Yeah. I'm a pawnbroker. And a pawn shop is, we specialize in high-risk, short-term, non-recourse collateralized cash loans. I'm saying we sell stolen shit to poor people. That's what we do. Yeah, a pawn shop it's like a bank. We're just actually excited to lend money to black people and women. We all tightened up right there. Started looking around, seeing if there were a black person who'd give you permission to laugh. Like, was this funny? Can we laugh at this? What is she doing? Now, you guys, for the record, that joke is my token black friend's favorite joke. And I can say that about her because I'm her token Jewish friend. Right? And we're from southernmost Indiana, like the only minority that has a harder time than us are openly gay people. We'll get to them, don't worry. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. We go back and forth, right? Like, she introduced me to her minister, so I introduced her to my drug dealer. They both put us to sleep. And I told her that I thought the Beatles were better than Michael Jackson. So now she denies the Holocaust. She was actually the person who introduced me to bacon. So I showed her where we moved her voting center. Guys, I'm 28. That's why I'm saying all this stupid shit. I'm young and dumb. I'm 28. I'm at that age where a lot of my friends are getting married and starting families. And the rest of my friends are freaking out because all of our friends are getting married and starting families. And I'm not worried about it. I'm really not. Like, a lot of my friends have been having kids for a long time. Because I went to public school. Ooh, a lot of public school graduates in the house. It's okay. And I'm young, maybe I'll change my mind, but I've decided I'm not gonna have kids. Because here's the deal, I am not a very nice person. I'm just really worried about karma. You know, God, what does my mom call it? Fetal alcohol syndrome.
Is that what I got?
And I decided I wasn't going to have kids, but I did go to my local humane society and I did adopt a cat. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, yes. And then 2 years later, I took it back because the hell with cats, right? It was a terrible impulse buy. And I don't know, I'm at their cat depository or whatever. And there's another lady there, she's doing the same thing. And she explained to me that she'd keep her cat, she really would. It's just that she already had 5. And that was a lie, because she smelled like 30 cats. She asked me while I was dropping off my cat, and I explained very simply, very sincerely, that I didn't want to be like her. And she looked at me like I was the one that smelled like cat piss. No, I can't be responsible for any living being. I'm too much of a party girl. Like, I'm the only person I know who's ever been bit by a stripper. Don't knock it, it feels pretty good. And at first you get excited because you think that's how they say I love you. It is not. It's just some skin getting caught between $1 and a snaggletooth. So those girls do not have dental. And I don't know, maybe I flinched, made some sort of sudden movement. I know you're not supposed to startle them while they're eating. All this goes down, I start to get really nervous, you guys, because what if strippers are like vampires? What if now I'm a stripper? No, I'm not a stripper. But that is how I got hepatitis. And now I think I have rickets, which is new for me, right? Because rickets is an old-timey bone disease. And normally I just think I have an STD. See, what happened is I stopped drinking milk because I didn't want to get a fat ass. And then I stopped getting any sun because I didn't want any wrinkles. Like, I basically rich white lady my way straight to third world problems. One of the symptoms of rickets is having bowed legs, and I can't tell if my legs are bowed because there's always someone between them. My doctor said, "Rachel, you're not getting any vitamin D." I said, "Hello, doctor, I get all the D." Just ask my gynecologist. I was actually going over my family medical history. It turns out I'm genetically predisposed to diabetes, heart disease, and suicide. Which is good to know because the first two sound expensive. And even with all that, right, like, I'm lucky. I really am. Because back in southern Indiana, we think Hoosier hospitality means sharing needles. We are big fans of Magic Johnson back home. Y'all, I'm saying there's a lot of AIDS. I'm saying it's a real AIDS-y place. I actually, much like right here and right now, I angered a lot of people by using the word AIDS-y in a gay bar. Yeah. But let's face it, come on, guys. It is 2015. Not all gay people have feelings. Oh, come on now, y'all. That's my token, openly gay friend favorite joke. I can say that about him because I'm his token Jewish friend. And we're from southernmost Indiana. The only minority that has a harder time than us are proud Democrats. He and I have a lot of fun. We go back and forth, right? Like, he came to my bat mitzvah, so I protested at his wedding. He has safe sex because I won't. And I donate blood because he can't. I was the maid of honor at his wedding, which was really special, actually. Actually, his grandmother did not attend, which was kind of rough. It was kind of heartbreaking. And actually, it turns out she was just dead. Thank God, that could have been terrible. They actually, they missed her funeral to go to the honeymoon, but it's not like she'd sent a gift, you know. Yeah, Evansville, Indiana is a pretty fun place. I don't know if you guys read about this, but one of our recent mayoral candidates a few weeks ago, his entire platform was actually building a new civic center out of weed. That was his entire platform. And he didn't win. The weed guy didn't win because we really are, as Joe said, more of a meth community. Like, you can see it where our teeth used to be. So now I'm trying to gear up, get ready for 2016. My issues together, find out what really matters. Like, I seem like I'm all over the place, but when you really narrow it down, I think there are only a few things that matter to me. Like, I care just as much about that election as I do safe bleach alternatives. But at the end of the day, y'all, both of those are about cleaning out the assholes. You know, I care just as much about incarceration rates as I do how to groom my pubic hair. Both of those are out of deference to black men. That's my token proud Democrat friend's favorite joke. Thank you. And I can say that about her because I'm her token Jewish friend. And we're from southernmost Indiana. And we just need to move, y'all. We just need to move. You know, Evansville is fun. It's an interesting place. Indiana's fun. You know, it's remarkable how a state just so overrun by drugs stays so fat. It's true, next year's Indianapolis 500 is sponsored by Rascal Mobility Scooters and butter. My hometown of Evansville is the fattest. 2011, we were the fattest city in the United States. We were going to have a parade, sneak in a little exercise. We had to cancel because no one would get off their lard ass. And Evansville's stupid too, we really are. I mean, we were ranked, 92nd out of 120 in terms of quality of education. And that's probably right, because I have no idea what that means. I think one of the most remarkable things about Evansville is that we are consistently ranked one of the top 10 most miserable places to live in the United States, which I think is interesting, so I did some research. And it turns out the reason I like to live in Evansville is psychologically similar to the reason I like to get choked out a little when I come. Because that's all I know. Well, you guys know, I'm a good girl. I really am. I'm a good girl. I've never had more than 3 sexual partners a month. Because I don't want a reputation. And my grandma said what I should do is I should cut my hair, and I should start wearing lipstick, and I should smile more. And it's interesting to hear what my grandmother looks for in a woman, but I'm not trying to date her. No. But I do, I get out there, I try. Like, I've had sex with a couple of twins. Not the same twins, not the same pair of twins. Like, I'm not that lucky. Yeah, I have dated so many losers. It's so many losers. Like, it's getting to a point where I'm actually getting embarrassed to bring another one back to my place in my mom's basement. But I can take my time, right? Like, I'm still getting over my ex. Golly, my ex. You know, the second I broke up with him was the second he realized that my name was Rachel. And that we'd have been in a relationship. Yeah. I should probably stop sending him nude photos of myself. But at this point, I'm just hoping he forwards them to a friend and offers a referral. People say you shouldn't send naked photos of yourself. People say, worst case scenario, everyone in the world is going to see you naked. But I say that really ups your odds. Best case scenario, everyone in the world sees you naked. Worst case scenario, everyone in the world sees you naked and no one's impressed. Right? And even then, you just tell them you used a body double. Now, you guys, I'm still going to try, though. I really am. I'm still going to try. Still going to go out, see what I can do, find a different guy. But it is hard, right? Like the last date I went on. The guy spent the entire evening making fun of my taste in music, making fun of my taste in clothes, making fun of my taste in politics. So I slept with him, so he knew I had bad taste in men, too. All right, guys, my name is Rachel Goldman. That's my time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, give it up. Rachel, everybody, yes. There she goes, Rachel Goldman. Evansville, Indiana. Clarksville.
Hello.
Hey, yo! I just read a story about you guys. You guys are now officially the drunkest city in Tennessee. Round of applause. Absolutely. Be proud. You did it. I was told I took part in that survey, but I don't remember. Let's see, what else we got out there? Jared Fogel. Jared Fogel, Subway, huh? Yeah, he's fresh, great. But who else is it? He's really fresh. Oh my God.
Don't call him cuts for nothing.
Oh, Jesus. I love it. We should just pass around the microphone for this category. This would be great. I mean, 15 and a half, was that the sentencing, right? He's going to jail.
That's his age group.
That's his age group. Take the mic. That is outstanding.
Shut up.
No, it's perfect. It is perfect. Who else? Bill Cosby. Ah, Bill Cosby. He might be doing some prison time, right? What do they got there? 50 Shades of Cosby about now, right? Yeah, I'm telling you, he might be going to prison. What's funny is Caitlyn Jenner, right? Was up for a vehicular homicide, but that one got passed. But that would have been a hell of a reality TV show right there. All three of them in one prison cell, right? I would watch that. I would watch Bill Cosby, Jared Fogle, Caitlyn Jenner, one prison cell, one camera. I don't know, threesome company? I don't know. You know, you name it. It'd be very awkward. You know, you'd have Bill there, you know, waiting for Caitlyn to fall asleep, okay? Caitlyn being like, you know, taking selfies. I'm not interested because I'm very confused. But, and then you'd have Jared Fogle just outside the bars with binoculars waiting for the next school bus to arrive with oh, too soon? Too soon? Too late. Too late. Nay, nay, don't do it, Jared Fogle. Telling you. But Clarksville, while we got you guys here, okay, we got to make sure that we check in on Facebook. We got to make sure that we let people know, because I love comedy. I love laughing. I love having the opportunity to smile, especially we talking about it. Headlining news, it's depressing, so it's always great to have a good laugh. Let me tell you, this next gentleman that's coming up on the stage, we're going to get some great laughs. I had the honor and the privilege of having him on my radio show. Telling you, Joe Padula Show, go make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well. Shameless plug. But man, not only is he funny, but he's smart, he's charismatic, and he cares. That's what I like most about this gentleman. He cares. And man, we're gonna have a good time listening to the one, the only. Please give a large welcome, Big John. Yeah, Big John. Look at it. I love it. Thank you, Joe.
Come on, y'all. Joe Padula. Give it up for Joe. While you're clapping, how about a hand for Janice Cleary putting this whole shindig together? So I am going to go out on a limb and just make an assumption that a black guy with dreadlocks in a spotlight at night, not really new for Clarksville, Tennessee.
You read the paper.
There we go, we are having some fun now. Awesome. Look, I did a show at the Hoosier Park Casino in Anderson, Indiana. After the show, the guy pays you with the check. And I'm like, this just don't feel right. Sure enough, the check bounces. So a week later, I texted him and said, dude, your check bounced. I need my money. Oh, no problem, John. I'll get you your money. It's just accounting errors. 2 weeks later, I still don't have my money. So I texted him again. Could a brother get his money? Another week passed. I'm like, dude, listen. I need my money. 2 days after that, it's in my account. I'm a happy man. 2 hours after it shows up in my account, I get a text from the other comedian I work with. Google Bloomington bank robbery. It was that guy. And everybody started teasing me. Ooh, you got paid with bank robbery money. How does it feel to be paid with bank robbery money? If that's what it takes for you to get my money, go get my money. There we go. We are laughing. We're having a good time. Let me explain some stuff to you guys so you can understand why I'm doing the sit-down stand-up comedy. A couple years ago, I was walking, stepped on a curb the wrong way, broke my left foot in 3 different places. One of the breaks, the bone shattered so bad, the bone is gone forever. Doctor said, John, you will never run again. So I stand here proud, honored, humbled, and blessed to tell you guys after 4 years of casts, walking boots, compression stockings, weightlifting training, therapy, hard work, and rehab, the doctors were right. So they give me these shoes to wear, and with the jeans on, the shoes don't look too bad. But in shorts, it looks like I played for the '95 Chicago Bulls. Normally, I work with the microphone stand because in addition to the foot, I suffer from hand tremors. if I hold the microphone too long, you guys will say, hey, Big John looks real scared up there tonight. Or B, that's the worst Muhammad Ali impression I ever saw. That's what you'd say. Don't act like I said anything wrong. It's a comedy show. The serious show is around the corner. So the doctors say, John, there's a drug called Pinnacle we can give you that will control your hand tremors. I said, great. Give me the drug. The label on the bottle for the medicine to control hand tremors says, and I quote, cut tablets in half. You can't make that up. My wife likes it that I get the hand tremors. Because I make the best scrambled eggs, and if you was thinking something else, you are nasty. I moved from Louisville, Kentucky to marry my child bride. We actually have been friends since 1975, New Providence Junior High. Y'all remember 1975, 8 tracks, Afros, Earth, Wind and Fire, Kiss for some of y'all. We graduated from high school and then we separated through life and then Facebook reconnected us. And when we started dating, she said, John, I'm not gonna lie. I've loved you since high school. I said, well, how come you didn't say anything in high school? She said, you were too goofy in high school. I said, why are you telling me now? Now you get paid to be goofy. It's what she says. But the truth was, from 8th grade to graduating in high school, she wasn't dating anybody. She wasn't talking to any guys. She would always say, I'm on a mission, I'm on a mission. Took all the advanced classes. The lowest grade she got was an A. Not an A minus, but an A. She's on a mission. She's on a mission. Graduated from high school, got 2 degrees, one from Tennessee State, one from Vanderbilt University. Lowest grade was an A. She's on a mission. And all of that hard work got her me. Mission accomplished. It wasn't really that easy. I had to charm her a little bit. Like the first time I asked her out, she said no. I said, that's not a problem at all, baby. Let me explain something to you. According to the 2010 census, there are 10 women for every 1 guy. 10 women, 1 guy. You add into that the married men, the gay men, the men in prison, and the men who don't date outside their race, I'm up to like 25 to 1. 25 to 1. You recognize me. I am the last man on the planet Earth. And now we're dating.
I like your mask.
I love my wife because she says some of the most romantic things. Like one day, she says to me, listen, I really don't want to go in this store, but I'm just going to see you mess with the security guards. Isn't that romantic? We have fun. I might be a little goofy because like one day I woke up and the news was on and I could have swore I heard the newscaster say, and food stamps to win. Which all of a sudden I started thinking about the Kentucky Derby and a horse named Food Stamps and the announcer going, and down the stretch they come, here comes Food Stamps making a run, and all these rich white people going, come on Food Stamps, come on Food Stamps. Because you know that's the only time you can get rich white people to cheer for Food Stamps. I do, I have fun. I'm on dialysis, and I'm gonna get to that after this, and I made the transplant list, but in order to get on the transplant list, I had to have what they call a heart catheterization. And if you don't know what that is, they lay you on a hospital table naked. Cut a hole in your groin right there and run a camera on a cable through it all the way up to the heart to see if there's any blockages. So they laid me on the table naked. Nurse says, well, I gotta shave you. And I'm like, well, where? Because I like to think of my body like a phone company line. You know, be careful where you dig. they shave me and the procedure starts, and I'm a comedian, slightly under the effects of anesthesia. Can't see anything, but I can hear everything. Somewhere during the course of the procedure, I hear the doctor say, well, that's about 8 inches. So I say, that's because it's cold in here, they're shrinking. So they don't find anything wrong. They put me back in my hospital bed, and when everybody leaves the room, I gotta go check out what the shaving looks like. And what they didn't tell me is they didn't shave one side, they shaved both sides. So when I go to look in the amusement park, because that's what I call it, because that's where the thrill ride is.
That's gonna get used again.
Well, where once was a great big old forest, is now like a mohawk. So for a whole week, my wife was mad because I kept running around the house naked. I pity the fool! I pity the fool! We have fun. I moved from Louisville, Kentucky to Evansville to be with her. And I lived in Louisville for 20-something years. What I never understood about living in Louisville is there's the city of Louisville, the Ohio River, and southern Indiana.
Yeah.
And they call that whole thing Kentuckiana. I never got that. Because this is Clarksville, Tennessee, right next to the Kentucky state line, and we never called it Tennessee.
You didn't grow up here.
Northwest High, class of 79. Next question.
Wait for it.
All right. You said that like I was getting paid. I already got my check in advance.
Did you call
See?
the guy?
See, everybody thinks they could heckle me and it's going to embarrass me. This I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna take y'all behind closed doors. This right here is the best part about comedy. Everybody see this right hand? Everybody see this right hand? See it? See it? See it? You saw that? You saw that? You saw that? I got paid for that, and y'all didn't laugh at that either. I'm having a ball with you. What's your name, sir?
Me?
Yes, sir.
Charlie.
Charlie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm not, there's nobody sitting right there because everybody thinks, ooh, you sit up front, Big John's gonna pick on you. I don't pick on front row people because I'm not getting whooped in the parking lot after the show. I don't pick on white people either because if you look around, ratio's not real good right about now. Oh, I know there's some black people in here, but if something happens, you know what's gonna go down. We don't know. Me and my wife and Rachel, we rode down here together because my days of traveling by myself have come to an end. Recently, I was a victim of my first carjacking, and I'm not gonna lie. I always thought if somebody pointed a gun at me, I'd be a tough guy like Tony Soprano. Turns out I scream like a soprano. There we go, there we go. Before I broke my foot, I used to like to walk, and I would always walk like 2 or 3 in the morning because nobody would be out, and I would have the street all to myself, and I would just walk, and that's when the creative juices would flow. One time I was walking, I came across this building with the alarm going off. So I ran into the building, called my agent on her cell phone, and when it got to the voicemail, I held it up so she could hear the alarm ringing, and then I yelled into the phone, "Just tell the police I was with you all night long." And I laughed, and I laughed, and I laughed. I was walking through Walmart, and there were these two elderly white sisters arguing over which DVD to buy, and one of them was holding the Chronicles of Narnia, and she's like, "I ain't buying this movie. I ain't buying no movie that has Indians in it." So I said, "Excuse me, ma'am. I could not help but overhear. If you'd allow me, I recommend you get this movie. It's an instant classic and a Western." She said, "Really?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. And the best part about it is there are no Indians in Brokeback Mountain." And I laughed, and I laughed, and I laughed. My agent got me back, though, just the first day of school. She waited like 3 or 4 years to get me back. First day of school, she says to me, "John, it's the first day of school. I got to pick up my son from school. I feel so bad. Will you go with me to pick him up from school?" I said, "Sure." All the way to the school, she's complaining, "Oh, John, it was so hard for me to get my son off to school after that long summer break. I had to promise him candy as soon as he came out, but I feel so bad." Excuse me. "Would you take this candy over to the school and bring him to the car?" So picture me walking past security guards, bus drivers, teachers, and parents up to this 8-year-old red-headed white dude. And when he says, "Where's my mom?" I gotta say, "She's not feeling well. She told me to come get you and take you home. Here's some candy. Come on, let's go get the bag." She laughed and she laughed and she laughed. Another one of my medical things I got to deal with, I'm an insulin-dependent diabetic. So I'm doing this show in Frankfort, Kentucky at the state capitol for this political group. I excuse myself to the bathroom because sometimes people get offended if you shoot up in front of them. So just when I stuck the needle in, the governor of Kentucky walks in. So I just looked at him and went, he didn't laugh. And I got a court date Tuesday. I really did like to walk by myself at night, and it just comes out, I just have fun. Recently I was driving from Indiana University back home, and I got pulled over by a state trooper. And he said, "I stopped you because you were driving the speed limit and you used your turn signals to change lanes." Why? I said, "Well, 1, I'm an excellent driver. 2, there was a cop behind me." So I told him what I did for a living, and he said, "You know what? You're a really funny looking guy. You must be a pretty good comedian." I said, "You know what? You're a pretty stupid looking guy. You must be." So I got a court date Wednesday. And if you're a policeman, that's just a joke. Back home, some of my best friends are policemen. And everybody always asks me, "How come you know so many policemen?" You look like me, you walk by yourself at night, you tend to meet a lot of policemen. The thing about living in Indiana is they like to make fun of people in Kentucky. What they hadn't figured out is it's a tie. For real, because if you're from Indiana or Kentucky and you travel outside Indiana or Kentucky, people find out where we're from, they like to make fun of us. I was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida last summer, and everywhere I went, they were like, "Hey, you're from Kentucky. Hey, you're from Kentucky. What's up, hillbilly? How are things in Kentucky?" And I was like, "Hey, isn't this the state where y'all weren't smart enough to fill out a ballot correctly, messed up that presidential election?" So I got my friends in Indiana, when somebody from Florida says something to them, "Who's your daddy?" They say, "The man who filled out the ballot correctly." Because when they said to me, "We hear you people in Kentucky don't wear shoes," I said, "You don't need shoes to fill out a ballot correctly." So then they were like, hey, if you're really from Kentucky, tell us about the grass. Tell us about the grass. Is it really blue? Sure. If you're smoking it. Then they're like, all right, listen. Well, if you're from Kentucky, how come you don't have one of them twangs? Because mama and daddy raised me to enunciate, and I did everything they asked me to growing up because I was raised according to the scriptures. Well, scripture, you know that one Proverbs 13:24? Hello? Hello? I'm kidding. Proverbs 13:24, paraphrasing the King James Version, goes like this. If you love your child, you will not spare the rod. If you do not love your child, you will. So what I'm trying to explain to y'all is that my mom and dad love me. Lots. Sometimes for no reason. Because back then, time out was a whole different thing. Like today is for kids to sit in the corner and be quiet. Back then it was for my dad to rest up in between whoopings. For real, it's not a lot of fat or muscle underneath this sweater. Most of it's swelling that hadn't gone down yet. My dad was in Korea and Vietnam twice. That meant he was trained to kill, authorized to kill, and on a couple of occasions, I think he might have liked it. I'm 54. I can close my eyes and I can still hear my dad. I brought you in this world. Y'all know my dad. I ain't seen none of y'all at the family reunion. So Pop said when I became a parent, I could say to my kids, they would get it just like I got it. My daughter was 6 years old. I said it to her without blinking an eye. She looked right back at me and said, whatever. Because she was born in the age of child abuse hotlines and children's advocates. So what I did was, I played for her a tape of Marvin Gaye singing the national anthem. She said, ooh, I like that, Daddy. Play it again. So I played it again. She said, I really like that, Daddy. You got some more? I put in an entire CD, Marvin Gaye's greatest hits. Skipped over Let's Get It On because that's my little girl. She said, wow, Daddy, that guy's amazing. Where is that Marvin guy now? I said, he's dead, baby. She said, what happened to him? His father shot him. She said, what'd they do to his dad? Nothing. Daddy, he killed the man and they didn't do nothing to him? How come? I said, think about it, princess. He didn't kill a man. He killed his son. And since he brought him in the world. My daughter's now 30 years old and a college graduate. I ain't had a problem with her ever since. That's my little girl, though. She got my sense of humor. She'll take a shot every once in a while. I sent a tape, one of my little comedy shows, to her and her mom in Maryland, and she called me. She's like, Daddy, what's up with the suits? Because I used to do comedy in suits for me. This way, if you guys weren't laughing, you'd say, well, the guy's not that funny, but at least he tried to look good. She said, all right, Daddy, I got that. What's going on with your hair? I said, I've been looking at ESPN and all these athletes, figured I could do it. She said, okay, Daddy, here's the problem. With the hair and the suit, you do look like an athlete. On trial. Just to mess with her, I said, you would know the Cincinnati Bengals are your team. Oh, y'all didn't like that joke. You should have been there tonight. I told that joke in Columbus, Ohio.
We didn't see your picture in the paper this morning.
For the record, my favorite team since 1972 has been the Washington Redskins. And I get pushed back from that all the time. One of my friends from Cincinnati wrote me, Native American named Homer Shadowheart, one of my best friends. He tells me, John, I can't fault you for having a favorite team, but I gotta say the name of your team sucks. And I truly understood how he felt, because I'd be thoroughly pissed off if the Super Bowl would have been the New England Spear Chuckers versus the Seattle Jigaboos. You know what's funny about that joke?
What?
Here's what's funny about that joke. I went back and I checked every Olympics since the 1800s when I started them back, and there's never been a black dude win the javelin. Which is essentially spear chucking. All right, if I gotta explain every one of them to you, it's gonna be a really long night. Let me back up, let me start up, let me see where y'all are. I did a show for some autistic children. The only way they could communicate was through a touch program on their iPads. Autistic children. I told them these two jokes and they laughed, they got it. Autistic children.
You got it.
First one. Where did chocolate fish come from?
Where? Chocolate water.
Cocoa Beach. Autistic children got it. Y'all gotta catch up. Second joke. I bought these books on tape. My favorite is duct.
Duct tape.
There you go.
I'm autistic, man. I got it.
I believe it because you have this weird little communication that you just pop up like you're sitting right next to me. It's not like a ventriloquist act. I didn't see your name on the poster. It's just me. See, Beth, what he's actually thinking is, well, I'm just helping him out. I don't really understand that. Because I've never gone to McDonald's and ran around to the grill, started flipping burgers, saying, it's a restaurant, I'm just helping out. In fact, y'all do that. Go to Gateway tomorrow and just start stabbing people. Say, I'm doing surgery, I'm just helping out. Welcome to the show. I have never, ever lied to my little girl. Never, ever. Back when she was 8 years old and Bill Clinton was going through that smoke but didn't inhale thing, she said, Daddy, what's that mean? It means he don't know how to smoke a joint. She said, Daddy, how do you know? She said, ooh, Daddy, how could you? I said, it was the 70s. Back then, just say, no, man, have you tried it yet? She said, well, why'd you stop? I said, a bunch of different reasons. One, I turned 21, and your granddaddy said if I went to jail, he wasn't going to get me out. You know I'm kind of cute, and I've seen Oz. I don't know how long you'll ever keep them dudes off there. See, y'all got that, and that is scary. 2, you were born, and 3, the thoughts that would go through my head would just freak me out, so I put them all together, kind of, sort of quit. She's like, all right, Daddy, I got them first couple reasons, but that last reason, what kind of thoughts would you have that would freak you out? I was like, well, I used to get high and think to myself, how come when Superman, the Man of Steel, was dressed as Clark Kent, he never set off a metal detector? How come Cottonelle makes you pay $3.79 for wet toilet paper when a 79-cent baby wipe does the same thing? How come an angel food cake is white, but a devil's food cake is black? If a seeing eye dog poops in public, who picks it up? How come an atheist will tell you they can't believe in God because they can't see him or touch him, yet they believe all black men have big penises? Did you know The man who wrote the book about relationships, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, is divorced 5 times. How's a man divorced 5 times? Tell me about relationships. It's kind of like Rosie O'Donnell and Ellen DeGeneres writing a book on how to catch and keep a man. It just doesn't make sense. How come UFOs don't talk to black people? Don't look at me like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. You have never ever turned on your TV or your radio and heard a sane, sober black man say, well, I was coming home from my baby mama house. You don't hear that, do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? What do you always hear? Say it with me, y'all. Me and Bubba right down in the holler, spotlighting. This is actually my second time at the Pinnacle. We had our 30th high school reunion downstairs in the basement a couple years ago. And I'm at the reunion, and in walked my high school vice principal, Hibernia Williams. I saw him, I ran up to him, I hugged him, and I said, Mr. Williams, you were wrong. He said, what do you mean? Turns out I can't make a living telling jokes the rest of my life. I love my wife because she gives it just as well as I give it. Like before we got married, I was teasing her. I was like, listen, my first wife is now an Episcopal priest in Columbia, Maryland. Because when I love a woman like only I can love a woman, that's what it takes to replace me. She said, John, my first husband's dead. I love a man like only I can love a man. I bury him. Sign me up. First time I told that joke, she couldn't stand it. Second time I told that joke, I gave her the check. That's how I got to tell it tonight. Watching the news a little while ago, CNN, and they ran a story about the Canadian equivalent of a senator. He wants to hold a federal inquest, a trial, to find out if there was ever an actual zombie apocalypse in America. Could Canada defend it? Okay, so listen, my people. I have watched every episode of The Walking Dead and all those Resident Evil movies, and I figured it out. If there's ever an actual zombie apocalypse in America, you are safe if you go into the black neighborhoods. Because there are no black zombies. There are no black people either. I don't know where we go, but apparently that's the first sign of the apocalypse. Black people disappear, something get ready to go down. So if you're watching the NBA on TBS and you say, hey, I haven't seen a black dude in the NBA in about 6 weeks. Uh-oh. I'm about to go. I had a great time up here. Listen, the next one of these shows is going to be in December. Not yet, Joe. I still got a couple more. I'm just sort of letting them know. It's my brother, Joe Padula, right there. Give it up for Joe. I know. Y'all are looking at me and Joe thinking, how are they brothers? Because Joe's white and John's regular. Took y'all a little bit. Y'all are catching on. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right. Okay. So the next show is going to be in December with my buddy from Last Comic Standing and Star Search, Tim Northern. You need to check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then in January, my other buddy from Nashville, Dan Whitehurst, is coming. So it's going to be good comedy here. You guys come back. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Comedians will come here because you guys like to laugh. When I go home, all my friends are going to say, how was this room? How was this room? I'm going to say, great laughers. They'll be excited to come here. So they will come if you come. So you guys got to keep coming back. All right? All right. Outstanding. Outstanding. Now, I'm getting ready to do my last little closing thing. Not sure if I should do it. I can either edit it or I can do it the way it actually happened. If you want me to do it the way it actually happened, repeat after me as loud as you can so they have to come in from the bowling alley and actually see what's going on. We ready?
Ready.
I love my Big John.
I love my Big John.
And all his blackness.
And all his blackness.
My wife's sitting over there after the show. She's gonna say, "What is wrong with those people?" I got my mother-in-law up here too. Carmen always told her that I get the audience to say that. She didn't believe. My mother-in-law is an 81-year-old firecracker of a woman. I did a show at Club 125, and I took her, and they said it, and she was like, "Abdulliba, what is wrong with those people?" That's my Moody right there. Stand up, Moody. Don't get all bashful now. Stand up. There you go. There you go. I got her to say it once too. Carmen was cracking up. I had a ball. That was my laugh for a month. Okay, since you guys asked for it, this is a true story. A true story. I could not make this up. When I lived in Louisville, I used to be a mentor for an elementary school. And what I would do is I would take pictures of the place where I did shows and bring them back and show the kids to try and get them excited about learning different things to start them on a proper educational arc. So I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, and it's a beautiful Sunday afternoon. I'm walking around, I'm taking pictures of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Brown Stadium, and there's this 2-lane bridge that if you walk across, you could take a picture of the skyline of Cleveland and it looks like you're actually in Lake Erie. So that's what I did. 2-lane bridge, 1 lane is closed for construction. That's the side I walked across. I took all the pictures, I'm walking back, I'm whistling, I get halfway across, I look down, and there's a police car, and it's not moving. And I'm like, why isn't the police car moving? And then it hits me. It's just 1 lane for people to drive by. When the light turns green, he's gonna drive past, he's gonna wave, I'm gonna wave, everything's gonna be fine. Second police car shows up. I'm thinking to myself, they just want to know why I'm walking across the construction side of the bridge. I will explain to them my logic. They will applaud my civic consciousness, send me on my way, and everything's gonna be fine. Third police car shows up. And I'm thinking to myself, I might have to show some ID. Just then all the police cars fling open, and there's 5 policemen running at me all spread out. 4 of them have pistols, 1 of them has a shotgun. And they're all spread out, and as it gets closer, I can hear they're yelling at me. Some of them are yelling, get down, get down. Some are saying, hands up, hands up. So basically, I'm standing still doing jumping jacks. And they get even closer. One of them says, get down. And then I said, but he said, and when I did that, the one with the shotgun went, get the fuck down. And then it was like in the movies when time stood still. And I heard my late great grandmother Ruth's voice in my ear. Baby, I know you didn't want that man yelling at you and cussing at you because you a grown man and a fine young man you are. But you was on the wrong side of the bridge and there are 4 pistols and a shotgun cocked and pointed at the center of your chest. Just get the fuck down. So I get down, they handcuff me, and then they stand me up. They say, what are you doing here? I'm taking pictures. No, what are you doing here? I'm a comedian, I'm taking pictures. I ain't trying to start nothing. They said, oh, listen, the reason we stopped you is there's a robbery and you fit the description. I was like, well, duh. And then they say, this is a description of the guy we're looking for. We are looking for a big, black, muscular guy with dreadlocks. And in my head, I was like, awesome. What I actually said was, well, I'm just a big, black, fat guy with dreadlocks. So they're like, all right, well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk you down to the car, we're gonna run your ID, and if everything checks out, we're gonna apologize and let you go. Good deal, let's do it. So they're walking me down to the car, I'm still in handcuffs, and one of the policemen walking me says, oh, so you're a comedian, huh? You a pretty funny guy? Well, not right now. So we get down to the car.
Uh-oh. Hello.
I cussed too long. Joe, what I do?
Sing out.
That was right at the best part of the story.
Check, check. 1, 2.
Joe got skills. So they walk me down to the car. They start running my ID. And then as they're running my ID, it goes from 5 cops to 8 cops. And one of them goes all Joe Friday. I mean, he's like, you got any tattoos on your stomach? I said, no. Can we check? I said, sure. And they pick up my shirt. And all this fat I've been holding in for the 45 minutes I've been sitting up here started falling out. I've never been so happy to be out of shape my whole entire life. And just then, all 8 of them went, it's not him. And that's the actual, unedited, true story of how Big John Richardson got 8 of Cleveland's finest to friend him on Facebook in one day. I had to,
You did it unplugged.
that's how I do it. I had to, when I moved, I was gonna have to leave Louisville anyway because I got kicked out of my church for fighting. Wasn't my fault. Well, it might have been my fault. Okay, here's what happened. Sunday service ends, I step out the aisle to go home, there's a woman standing right in front of me blocking my path. John, the Lord put something on my heart for me to tell you. I said, ooh, this is gonna be good. What'd he tell you? She said, John, the Lord told me to tell you to shave and cut your hair. I said, why did he tell you to tell me that? She said, John, he told me to tell you that so that you could be you. And this is what started the fight. I said, if he really wanted me to receive that message, he wouldn't have sent it to a woman in a weave, contacts, and fake nails. So, me and Carmen found a new church in Evansville. We're the first black people in that church. They've loved us. They've embraced us. They've welcomed us. I even let them baptize me. How long are they supposed to hold you underwater? For real. I didn't know if I was getting baptized or waterboarded. Confessing the sins I didn't even confess to. Notice I've been up here about 45, 50 minutes or so. I haven't done a whole lot of cussing and nasty stuff. Everybody trips off that. Everybody trips off that. Everybody says, you don't cuss, I don't cuss. You don't cuss, I don't cuss. Then they ask me, Big John, how come you don't cuss? I have a wife, a daughter, 2 brothers, 2 sisters, 6 nephews, and a whole ton of cousins who curse. So technically, I curse by proxy. And if you don't know what a proxy is, a black dude with dreadlocks knows something you don't. I don't know what went wrong with your life. But Austin Peay's right there. Everybody in my family has a sense of humor, like my big brother. That's where the sense of humor starts from. Me and my big brother were watching the movie Ray. And if you've ever seen the movie Ray, there's a scene where he puts his fingers and his thumb around a woman's wrist. And if it's too big, he won't date her because she's ugly. So they show all these pretty women that he does that he dates, and then they show the ugly woman. And when they got to the ugly woman, my brother started cracking up. I said, what's so funny? He said, you don't understand. there was a casting call for ugly women. Can you imagine a line of women standing in line saying they're ugly? And then can you imagine the producers saying something like, yeah, okay, you are hideous, but we think we can get uglier. And then I started laughing. But everybody always trips. They're like, I said, my friends are like, we bet if we let you slam your hand in a car door, you would curse. I just said I didn't curse. I never said I was a moron. I'm not going to let you slam. I sent a tape one of my little comedy shows to my pastor, and he's like, oh, I'm so glad you're not abusing the talent God gave you by doing all that cussing and nasty stuff. That's not why. Well, I'm glad you're trying to be a great role model for your daughter by not doing all that cussing and nasty stuff. That's not why. Well, how come you don't do all that cussing and nasty stuff? Because Mama is still alive. And there is nothing more embarrassing than being 54 years old and getting whooped by your mama. You know that would happen too. After all, she brought me in the world. Just like I'm out now. Thanks for coming out, y'all.